Alright, what's going on, guys? Trey back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video talking about some news. Yesterday, it is official that Disney has purchased LucasFilms, LucasArt, which basically is George Lucas's own enterprise that he built based on Star Wars and Indiana Jones primarily, but mostly Star Wars is where most of his capital came from. I mean, Star Wars is one of those movies that will forever, the original trilogy will forever live in infamy as being probably one of the best movie trilogies in history, if not the best, if not rated as #1 trilogy of all time. If you're going to make a list of the top 5 trilogies, it has to be, pretty high, to pretty close to the top there. If not #1, it's got to be 2, 3, something like that. Regardless of who you are, you have to accept that Star Wars has been humongous. And the fact that people still follow it today, and literally they can take those movies that they made and re-release them in theaters, and they'll still make tons of money, is crazy to think that they can do that. And like in the 90s, they showed in theaters the older ones, and then of course they're redoing it now with 3D and everything like that. Of course, the second trilogy that came out in the 90s, starting in the 90s, did insanely well as well. Actually, The Phantom Menace is the highest selling of all the Star Wars movies, which is crazy because it's probably the worst, or one of the worst. Everyone has their favorite and which one they hate the most. I mean, there's 6 movies, so if you're a fan, obviously you're gonna have one that's your favorite, and then the others that you maybe one other one that you really hate a lot. Most people, it's Episode 1. Episode 1 for most people, Phantom Menace is, I mean, I think it's the worst, honestly, of the whole series. But it sold the most. It made them the most money. So whatever. I mean, the time gap probably is to blame for that, or the reason for that. But that's the situation. So how much did George Lucas sell it for? Just over $4 billion, which is crazy. I mean, that's just totally nuts. Pretty much in cash and stocks and that kind of stuff. Also, it has been confirmed that since Disney is purchasing it, they're going to be doing 3 more Star Wars movies, episodes 7, 8, and 9, but it'll be a bit until that comes out. Obviously, they're redoing them again in 3D and re-releasing them. So we'll see what happens with that. It says here that Disney plans to bow a new Star Wars film every 2 or 3 years, beginning Star Wars Episode 7 in 2015. So, if they get it done by that. So the thing is, they plan that, it'll be 3 years from now, but with everything, I mean, maybe they can get it done by then. Hopefully they will if they set the release date and everything and they do a good job of it. This was the same kind of thing as what happened when Disney bought Marvel. Everyone was going nuts. They thought it was the worst news ever. And me personally, I don't really think that this is really going to affect the franchise, that much in a negative way, because you can't get much worse than the Phantom Menace. I mean, think about it. You really can't. I don't think I don't think it takes much effort to be better than that. And Disney, obviously, they know what they're doing. Same thing with Marvel. They bought it for just over $4 billion. I think it was 4.5 or 5 billion or somewhere around there. And everyone thought it was going to be terrible, but Disney is more buying it, it seems, as like a long-term investment. And I think with Marvel, with the Avengers movie and everything, they're probably going to make their money back pretty quickly. Like, it'll be a couple more years, and that purchase of Marvel will pay for itself right off, and they'll now own Marvel. It's crazy that George Lucas, just for Star Wars. Now, I'm not saying anything about Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but compared to Marvel, it's crazy that he, by himself, basically, and this enterprise that he built, was able to get almost the same amount of money as Marvel did, which is nuts, because obviously Marvel has so many characters, the history of the comic books, the movies, the Avengers, and everything like that. Obviously, the potential is huge. I think the potential for Star Wars is just as big, and Disney is making a brilliant move here business-wise. Also, George Lucas, I mean, the guy's made, he's gone from probably barely any money in his life to being a multi-billionaire. So whatever, for him, it's not like he's going to care either. And also, too, they weren't producing any new movies for Star Wars. That's the thing. That kills me, is that you have this franchise that is so beloved by fans. and you've got games coming out for it, you've got comic books, you've got all kinds of stuff, TV series and all kinds of stuff, but you're not producing new movies for it. It seems asinine to me. It doesn't make sense. Like, okay, yeah, you want to put the old ones back, and that's fine, but you gotta use that. You gotta create new movies. If you don't, you're just missing out on the fans that you've already earned, and you could be making a lot more money off it. So I think Disney obviously sees that. They're going to take advantage of that, and they're going to go forward with that, and they're going to make a lot of money too. So for both parties, it works out. It sounds good, and I actually don't think it's a bad thing in terms of quality. In terms of quality, I mean, think about it this way. If they produce a movie and it's at least half decent, it's better than them not producing a movie at all. And lately, George Lucas has not been even thinking about producing new Star Wars movies in terms of what I've heard through the media and everything. So, I mean, this can't be a bad thing for Star Wars fans. At least we're going to get some new stuff. I think it'll probably be pretty good too. I don't think it'll be that bad either. The original trilogy was amazing for its time. I don't think Disney's going to be able to top that. I don't think it's reasonable to expect them to be able to top that. That was just sort of like, when those movies came out for their time, they were something amazing, something special. And, everything, like the media and movies as a whole have just gotten so much better, like over the last, let's see, almost 50 years now. So, 40, 50 years now. So, honestly, I think a lot of people are really going to hate this. A lot of Star Wars fans are really going to be upset about this. But I honestly don't think it's going to be a bad thing. I think it's actually going to probably be a good thing because it was for Marvel. Like, I'm a huge Marvel fan, and I was, like, worried when Disney bought it. I was like, oh, man, they're going to mess it up. You're going to start seeing Wolverine and, like, Mickey Mouse teaming up and stuff. It's going to be bad. But then they just didn't touch it. They just let it run, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to produce Avengers, and then, right after that, okay, Avengers 2, set the release date, movies every year, For Star Wars, it could be the same thing. It could be fantastic, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. If it goes, any sort of way as it has, like what they did with Marvel, it should be great for Star Wars fans, and I personally am actually excited because when I hear that, they're not making any new Star Wars stuff and they're just re-releasing the old stuff, it's like, it's a missed opportunity is the problem. So the fact that Disney's already like, oh yeah, we're going to make new stuff, it just works. It makes sense. So anyway, I'm actually kind of happy about the news. I'm not disappointed at all or pissed off at all. Did George Lucas sell out? I mean, yeah, he did. But he's going to be creatively involved with the process, it seems like. So they're probably not going to be releasing complete crap. I don't think it's hard to beat, like I said, Phantom Menace and those kind of movies. I think Disney will do it, and they'll put out some good stuff. So anyway, I've rambled on long enough. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. Please subscribe if you haven't. This is Trev. Saying peace.